all my single ladies, That's not me, but hey guys, what is up? What's going on? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is a highly requested video on the brand new Morphe x James Charles eyeshadow palette. Like, can we take a moment? Do y'all see how big this palette is? It's like bigger than my damn head, but it's taken me a little minute to actually film with this palette because as you guys know, some Morphe products are a hit, they're a miss, and the last Morphe product like I reviewed on my channel was the Jaclyn Hill Vault, and as you guys know, that didn't really go over too well, and I was just like dragged in the comments. The thing about it is that everybody wants my opinion, but the moment I give my opinion that's slightly different than their opinion, then nobody wants to hear it. So that's why I was just kind of a little slow to get this video up, but nonetheless, I know a lot of you guys wanted to see it. So first and foremost, I do want to say that I really love the aesthetic of the palette. I love the matte black. I also love his name that is written in a glossy font right here. And I really love the way that the palette is set up. Now, this isn't typically a palette that I would actually reach for simply because it does have color in it. And you guys know, your girl doesn't reach for color often, but I really love the warm tones in the first two rows. And I also love the third row. The shadow pans are slightly bigger than that of the shadows in the first two rows and the bottom two rows. Like, I feel like these are shades that I would reach for very often, and these are probably shades that will be used up very quick, so I like that they are bigger. And then I also like the bottom two rows that are that pop of color. Now, since all of these shades are in one palette, I feel like it kind of forces me to want to experiment with color a little bit more. Like, I can create a bomb-ass warm tone look and then just add a subtle pop of color with this palette. Now, while I do really love the overall aesthetic of the palette and the way that it's set up, I didn't really love the marketing that went into this campaign. Like, James created a promo reel, and all the looks within the promo reel were actually inspired by other influencers that he didn't give credit to within the video, so I found that to be very strange. And then when you go into Morphe stores, that promo video is just playing. Like, anytime I see a slime look, I immediately think of Janitors. Like, am I the only one? I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I just thought it was Sister Suspect, and that's just my opinion. But keep in mind, I did not let my opinions on the marketing alter the way I truly felt about this palette. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts, my opinions, want to see how I got this look, make sure you guys press the subscribe button, click the bell so that you guys are notified anytime I upload a new video, which is 3 times a week, every single week. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and y'all don't want to miss out on that. So with that, kick back, relax, because it's gonna be a long one. All right, so the moment you guys have all been waiting for me to sit down and film with the James Charles palette by Morphe. So pretty much I have the palette right here. It's a pretty large palette, let me just say that. I do love the overall aesthetic of the palette. It is matte black, and then it has James' signature and Morphe in this glossy text, which is super cute, super cool. You guys know what I'm gonna say about this palette. Not my all-time favorite considering the little plastic sheet that it comes with the shade names. In my defense, I'm probably gonna end up losing this little sheet right here. I know a lot of you guys tell me to tape it on the very top of the palette, but that's not practical, again, because then I can't fully see what the shade names are, if that makes any sense. I would have loved for them to put the shade names directly underneath the eyeshadow, but again, that's not something Morphe typically does with their palettes, so I guess I'm gonna have to deal with it. Now, before we begin, I do want to note that my brows are done, but my lids are not primed. You guys know I love to use my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. However, I did watch James's video when he announced his collaboration with Morphe, and he did note that it's important to use a dry base primer, something very comparable to MAC Painterly Paint Pot. This one right here by Morphe. You can use the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion in Eden. I know that one is a little bit drier. He did say that he does not recommend that you use concealer with these shadows, which I found to be very strange. But again, I did want these shadows to perform the way that they would perform on James, so I do want to take the steps that he recommended. So I did pick up this eyelid primer by Morphe at the Morphe store. If you bought the palette, then you were able to buy the eyeshadow primer for $5, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this. I already have some on the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna put it all over my eyelids to act as my eyelid primer. Now, right off the bat, I will say I'm not the biggest fan of this eyeshadow primer. I did use it a few videos back, and I just didn't love it. It makes my eyelids look extremely dry. It also isn't as opaque as a concealer, so you are still going to be able to see through. So if you have any discoloration or anything like that, you will still see through this primer. It's not super opaque like the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden. So that is definitely something I wanted to make you guys all aware of. So I'm not entirely sure if you could see up in this area right here, like it looks very, very dry. It makes me look like I have old ass eyelids, and I'm not about that. I really didn't apply all that much. I just applied a very nice thin even layer. So I'm pretty interested in seeing how the eyeshadows are actually going to blend over top of this. So the very first shade I'm going to pick up in the palette is called Pinkity Drinkity. It is a really pretty soft pink shade, and what I'm going to do with this shade is I'm just going to rock it right here in the very inner socket. It doesn't appear to really have any pigment to it. Like, it's very, very faint. I'm essentially using this as a transitional color just because I am going to put it right here in the very inner socket. So I'm really going to just try to lightly buff this color right here. Again, this is a fairly light shade, so I'm not expecting it to be like wham bam pink, but like I said, it is just very, very light. I'm taking this right here in the very inner socket right here, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing to this side over here as well. I do want to note that I am getting a little bit of pickup in the pan, but again, as I say in a lot of my videos, that's definitely not something to be too concerned about. So again, that is just a very faint light pink shade in the crease. The next shade I'm gonna pick up is the very vibrant pink, which is called Skip, and I'm gonna take it on that same M507, which is probably one of my favorite brushes for applying color in the inner socket. So again, I'm just kind of swiping the shade right here in the very inner socket. One of the main reasons I really love this brush is because I feel like it's a cross mix between a pencil brush and also like a small precision blending brush. So not only is it going to place color in the socket, but it's also going to allow you to blend the product at the same time, giving you the most beautiful seamless blend you have ever seen. So as you can see, it's really placing that color there in a very beautiful way. Ooh, who am I? I don't know. I do know that this look is going to be rather colorful and intense, but I'm about it. Can you imagine if I did like a neutral look with this palette? Oh, the comments. Right now, I'm really just focusing on building up this color just because I do want it to be super intense. So I'm really just working on building up the color. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit of fallout right here. So I definitely recommend probably doing your face makeup last just because I am experiencing a tad bit of fallout in this area right here. But nonetheless, that is a really beautiful poppy pink. The next shade I'm gonna take in the palette is called Single. Single ladies. Single ladies. That's not me, but anyways, I'm going to take that purple and I'm just going to put it right next to the shade called Skip. And what I'm doing in this case is I'm kind of holding my mirror right in front of me. I'm looking straight into the mirror and I'm just wiping the brush right into the crease where my eye naturally creases, just because I do want it to be the most intense right here in this area. And then I'm blending it inwards so that way it blends really, really well with that pink shade. I don't want to take this all the way out here towards the outer V. I really just want to keep it in the very center to create a contrast of color. So one thing I'm definitely noticing about the palette is that while the colors look deep in the pan, they don't show up as deep on the eyelid. Like this purple right here, I was expecting it to be a little bit deeper than what it is, but it definitely is more of like a lighter lilac color. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking a clean M507 and I'm just running it right alongside this edge right here because I want it to be nice, soft, and diffused. Right now it's looking a little harsh and I want to see if I can kind of buff out this edge. The next shade I'm going to pick up is actually called Escape, and I'm going to rock it right here in the very inner socket, and I'm also going to take it right here in the very outer V, and I'm just going to go in packing motions like so, and again continue to build it right here in this very outer V area. So I will definitely say that this purple is building up very, very nicely right here in the very outer socket. I'm actually going to switch brushes. I'm going to use an M514, which is a little bit more of a smaller blending brush, and I'm going to pick up again some of the shade called Escape, and I'm just going to kind of work the brush in circular motions just to get it to blend out a little bit better. So once I have that color blended right here in the very outer socket, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with something like an M433, and I'm going to pick up the shade called Skip, and I'm going to buff it directly over top of that purple just because I feel like it needed a little bit more. Like as you can see, I'm having a hard time buffing this purple into that pink shadow, but I'm going to pick up a little bit of the shade called Single, which is a little bit more of a lighter purple, and I'm just going to place it directly over top of the dark purple in hopes that I have a little bit more luck with a seamless blend. I'm not even gonna lie, like, I'm a little nervous right now because I never really play with color, so I don't know how to act. Like, I'm intimidated, but I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and I'm actually gonna cut my crease with this concealer, which kind of scares me as well because obviously James said not to use concealer to prime the lid, but did he also mean not to cut your crease with the concealer? That I don't know, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna roll with it because this is what I know and this is what I like to do. So I'm just going to quickly carve out my crease.
Much later.
So once I have the concealer on the lid, I'm just gonna take a clean brush and I'm gonna pat out these edges right here, just so that way it's not so harsh when I go in with additional eyeshadow. It's just going to allow you to blend a lot better, because if you keep this part wet, then the eyeshadow you lay on top of it may oxidize a little bit, so you want to make sure it's extremely even and dry. The next shade I'm going to take from the palette is called Ring Light, and I'm just going to pack this right here in the very inner corner of the eye, about maybe like 1/3 of the way in. I really don't want to drag this color in too far, so I definitely think that shade went on really nice. One thing I wish I would have did, I wish I would have went in with a little bit of the shade called Flashback and then topped a little bit of Ring Light directly over top just to make it a lot more vibrant and brighter, but I didn't think of it until I had the color already laid down. But you know what, we're gonna keep it moving, we're gonna keep it going. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of the shade called Escape, and I'm just going to buff this inwards and just re-intensify this outer V area right here, because I feel like when I added that concealer, things just got a little messy. I'm also going to take a little bit of the shade called Escape on an M507, and I'm just going to bring it and drag it right up in the crease directly over top of the shade called Ring Light. Now I do have like a little bit of an empty space right here, so what I'm actually going to do with that space is I'm going to pick up a little bit of the shade called Skip, which is that really beautiful vibrant neon pink in the palette, and I'm just going to dab a little bit of that shade right here, and I'm going to blend it into the shade called Ring Light, just like that. So I'm just going to take my M433 and I'm just going to buff and blend it side to side. Not even gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous about this look, but I feel like things are coming together slowly but surely. So I'm definitely going to be a little bit extra with this look, and I'm going to go in with a MAC Dazzle Liner from the MAC Shiny Pretty Things holiday collection. I'll actually have the exact name of this listed on the screen, and I'm just going to simply drag this right here in my crease. So I definitely feel like the silver liner added a special pop to the look. So I'm going to go in with black eyeliner. This is the Maybelline gel eyeliner in the shade Blackest Black. I am taking it on a MAC 210 eyeliner brush. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like more of like a smoked out wing, just because I feel like that's really going to complement this look. So I'm going to start right here in the very center of my eye, and I'm just going to draw a line. And I like to start in the center because I feel like I can really get a feel for where I want to take my eyeliner. I do like for the liner right in this area to be super thin, so I will just go in and trace closest to the lash line. Nothing too thick, nothing too crazy. And as you can see, I'm just really taking my time building up this gel eyeliner to my desired thickness. So I'm just going in small little strokes. So I'm definitely going to go for more of a smoked out winged eyeliner, and one of the easiest ways I can do this or show you guys how to do this is to use an angled brush like this. This is just a dual-ended brush by Anastasia. It is their number 14, but any angled brush will work. What I like to do is I like to just place it right here closest to the lash line, and then I'll drag it inwards just to create more of a thicker effect as it gets right here towards the very outer edge. So I'll just take the brush and I'll just drag it inwards. Now it will look a little messy in the process, but you can definitely go back in and clean it up. We're really just trying to create the shape by just taking the brush and dragging it inwards like so. So once you have the general shape down, then you can go in with a thinner brush like this. This is a MAC 210, and then all you have to do is just straighten up the lines and make it a lot neater and cleaner. So now that I have the general shape down, I do like to go in with more of a pencil brush. So I'm just using this one. This is an E36 by Morphe, and I'll pick up just a little bit of the gel liner on the pencil brush, and I'll just start patting it and buffing it right here towards the very outer edge. I want it to be nice, soft, and diffused, which is why I'm not picking up a whole lot of gel eyeliner onto that brush. I'm really just taking a little bit and I'm pressing it right here towards the very outer edge of the eye. Now, once I have the edge of the eyeliner buffed out to right here, this very outer corner, I am going to stop and I'm going to switch over to using a clean M507. And you can do one of two things. You can use a black to continue to smoke it out, or you can pick up a dark blue. You can do whatever it is that you want with this look. I am personally going to just go in with the black in the palette, which is called Spooky, and I'm just going to lightly pat it over top of the black eyeliner just to kind of set it down and in place. And then I'm going to go in with just a little bit more of the black and then just blend it slightly above the gel eyeliner just to give it more of a smoky, sultry look. I'm going to pick up just a little bit of the shade called Escape, and I'm just going to blend and buff it directly over top of the black right here. And all in all, this is more or less what I'm going for, like this really smoked out liner that just kind of gradiates right into that really dark purple. Now, if this is too dramatic for you, you can definitely do just a regular wing. I wanted to really do something that was dramatic and fun, so this is what I'm vibing with. So right now, this is what I'm working with. It is so dramatic. Again, like I said, if you guys want to do a regular old wing, definitely just opt for that. I'm going to apply a little bit of mascara. This is the Kokie Volume and Length Mascara, which honestly I do really like. And then I'm going to pop on some falsies. You guys know anytime I do a super dramatic look, I have to apply falsies. It's a thing. But if you guys aren't into falsies, you definitely don't have to go in and apply any by any means. Before I actually go in with lashes, I'm going to tightline with the COLLAB Bold Face Liner in the shade Drama Queen. Now, the reason I tightline is to create the illusion of thicker, fuller lashes. So as you can see in comparison, when I open my eyes, this is completely black, and it's ideal when you're applying a thick trace of black eyeliner, whereas over here you can kind of see that flap of skin just kind of peeking through. It's definitely not like a flattering look, especially if you're wearing falsies and things like that. So I always like to ensure that I really go in and tightline, just so that way everything looks super matte and black. So these are the false lashes I'm rocking with today. These are the Bella Bay lashes by the brand new Bounce 'Em, and I'll have them actually linked down below in the description in case you guys are interested. Now, it does take me a little minute to put on falsies, so I'm gonna do this and then we'll come back and finish off the eyes.
2 hours later.
All right, so I have my face on, I have lashes on, we're rocking and we're rolling. I will say when I first started this look, I had my doubts. And I feel like I say that in every single video, but honestly, sometimes I sit down and I don't even know what I want to film, and then I end up with like one hell of a look at the end. So I'm gonna finish off the very lower lash line with you guys. I didn't do my base just because I really just wanted to focus on the palette and the blendability and things like that. So first and foremost, I am gonna take somewhat of a flat definer. This is also by ABH, it's an A1, and I'm gonna pick up the shade called Skip, and I'm just going to press this closest to the lash line, and I'm really going to buff and blow this out. I really want this to be blown all the way out. I want it to be nice, sultry, sexy, and kind of smoky. So do not be shy, just go right in and really just intensify this and really pack it on. What I'm doing now is I'm just taking a pencil brush and I'm picking up a little bit more of Skip, and again, I'm just really blowing this out, connecting it with the shadow right here on my upper lid. This is really just going to bring everything together. Let me tell you, it's really just going to set this look off. I'm going to take what I like to call like an E25 by Sigma or an M433 by Morphe, whatever it is that you guys like to use. I know some people use Sigma, some people use Morphe. Just use something very similar and just go alongside the edges and really just blow it out. I really like for my lower lash line to be nice, smoky, and sultry, but that's just me. Do what you do. Following that, I'm going to pick up a little bit of Escape, and I'm just going to buff it right here closest to the lash line, just because I do want to create some kind of intensity to this look. So I'm really just going to focus it towards the very outer edge of the look, and I'm not going to drag this too far inwards. I'm just going to keep it right here towards the very outer V of the lower lash line, kind of connecting that deeper purple on the upper lash line to the lower lash line. I'm going to go right back into an E25 or an M433, and I'm just going to blow out the edge right here. And lastly, I'm going to pick up a little bit of Spooky, and I'm just going to stamp it right here towards the outer V on the lower lash line, and I'm really just going to focus it towards the very outer V. I'm not going to drag this too far inwards. You guys know how much I love these Lancome eye pencils, so I'm going to take this yellow and I'm going to put it in my waterline for a really nice pop of color. I'm just going to add a little bit of lower lash mascara, and I'm just using the MAC Extended Play Gigablack Lash mascara, and I love it because the wand is super skinny and it's very easy for me to just coat my lower lashes without getting the mascara everywhere. Now you can definitely stop this look right here, but I'm going to add a subtle pop of yellow in the very inner corner. So I'm going to pick the shade called B on a pencil brush, and I'm just going to work on placing it right here in the very inner corner. Now this does come off as being very, very yellow, but I am going to top it with a shimmer, which is going to really change the look of the yellow. With the shade Ring Light, I'm just going to pop it directly over top of that yellow to give it a nice sheen. And this is ultimately going to really lighten up that yellow and make it more of like a baby yellow. And I'm also going to take a little bit of that yellow eyeshadow and just set down that eyeliner, just so that way it's a little bit more vibrant. Do you guys immediately see the difference between this eye and this eye? Like the yellow is like poppin', here for it. And lastly, I'm gonna do a little bit of brow bone highlight. I'm gonna pick up the shade called In Light from the original Jaclyn Hill palette that she created in collaboration with Morphe, and I'm just going to lightly highlight this brow bone right here. So I went ahead and zoomed you guys out just so that way you guys can kind of see my look as a whole. I know there are some of you guys who are probably wondering what my lip color is. I am wearing my custom Matte Addiction liquid lipstick that I created in collaboration with COLLAB Makeup. You can find my lip shade throughout the month of December in all Sally Beauty stores in the US and Canada. So peep it, check it out. I feel like this color goes with so many different looks. It definitely is like that mauve-y nude, and I am in it to win it. But more so, let's move on to the actual palette. I will say I'm very impressed with the quality of this palette. Do you guys see how big it is? Like, honey, large and in charge. I'm in it to win it. I really do love the way that the palette looks. It's a matte black with the shiny lettering on the front. I also love how the palette was actually set up. I feel like it can go any which way if you are a freelance makeup artist, or if you're somebody who's just kind of like into makeup. I feel like you will really like this, just for the simple fact that we have all of the neutral shades at the top with some pops of colors here and there with the orange, and then we also have the bigger shades in the very middle, which are shades I feel like we always reach for on a day-to-day basis. I also really like the pops of color at the very bottom. You guys know I'm not really a big fan into color, so when I picked up this palette for you guys, I didn't really think that I was going to like it as much as I do, but I feel like it really pushes me to step outside of my comfort zone and experiment with color. And I also like the aspect that I can kind of mix my typical warm tones in with some, you know, pops of color to create different looks. The only thing I will say that I don't really like about the palette is, you guys guessed it, this little plastic. I feel like Morphe's at a point where they can definitely afford to print the shade names underneath the shadows. Like, let's get with it, get with the program. I'm just saying. All in all, those are my thoughts on the palette. Will you guys be picking it up, and do you guys want to see me create more looks with it? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you guys still have not subscribed, what are you doing? Make sure you guys press that subscribe button. Also, click the bell so that you guys are notified anytime I upload a new video, which is 3 times a week, every single week. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and y'all don't want to miss out on the fun. I love you, and I will talk to you guys all in the next video. Deuces. Outro of of the outro, the outro of the outro. Whew, so I definitely need to get better at singing because that was absolutely terrible, but I'm really excited that you guys made it to the very end of the video. If you guys like these really quick review videos on palettes and things like that, let me know by pressing the subscribe button, like click my face right here, and also check out some of my other videos. Also, give the video a big thumbs up, it always helps me out. We are so close to hitting 600,000 subscribers, so get to it so we can grow. I grow, you grow, we grow together. All right, goodbye.